Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to bounce back. The Vancouver Canucks have just defeated the Calgary Flames in their preseason matchup here in Abbotsford. It was a pretty nice homecoming for some Abbotsford Canucks of yesteryear, and the game itself was a good one, as Vancouver takes the dub 3-1. Now, admittedly, I was looking at this roster heading into tonight's game saying, wait a minute, tickets are how expensive, and this is the roster that is going to be available in Abbotsford? No Petey, no Hughes, no Besser? Come on, Vancouver. And admittedly, that's the way that I thought about this roster heading into it, but all things considered, I think a lot of these Abbotsford Canuck guys, when they end up playing in the Abbotsford Center, you actually start to see a lot more chemistry and very solid play at the same time. Now, to be fair, the Calgary Flames, they didn't really ice themselves a strong roster either. I think the best player they had on the ice was Joel Farabee. It was Farabee, Pospisil, maybe Connor Zary out there. And then on D, everybody on the Flames blue line wasn't really that great. So obviously, Vancouver taking the win is a little bit expected when you look at whom the Canucks had on their blue line. Hoglander, Marcus Pettersson, Tyler Myers, Kirill Kudryavtsev, Victor Mancini, and then Demko in net. Not to disrespect what Ivan Prosvetsov was able to do for the Calgary Flames, he did make some pretty good saves, but ultimately Vancouver, they had the slightly stronger roster despite the lack of top-tier forward talent. Nevertheless, though, 3-1 is your final score. Before we get into the goals and just kind of who stood out, I did want to talk about Nils Hoglander. Not only did he get himself a brief reunion moment in the building, seeing his name in the Abbotsford Canucks alumni section of the arena, but he also did leave the game early. And we didn't necessarily see why Hoglander left the game. There seemed to have been some sort of an injury, and his departure was precautionary related. Now, of course, that's just speculation. If tomorrow we get the word, Hoglander's going to be out for 6 months, knock on wood, of course, that doesn't happen, then I'll change my tune, but normally when players are removed from preseason games, it is due to precautions, so let's just hope that Hoglander has the best ahead of him, because he actually did look pretty good in today's Calgary Flames game. He got things started 5 minutes into the first period on a nice power play goal. You had Chytil, Hoglander, Ratu out there, and you also had Kudryavtsev getting involved in the play as well. Lots of cycling going on for Vancouver on the man advantage, and inevitably, you have Kudryavtsev going over to the side for Filip Chytil. He goes cross-crease to Hoglander, who walks in, takes a shot, it goes off the short side post, and Hoglander is there in the blue paint to bury the rebound. It's a really nice passing play, and it's the kind of goal that you want to see Hoglander be able to score, just getting himself right there in the goal mouth. Chytil gets himself a point. On NHL.com, it actually says Ratu got the secondary assist, which is incorrect. If you watch the video footage, it's very clearly Chytil who sends the pass across to Tom Hoglander. Ratu didn't get a stick on it. But other than that, it's the preseason, who cares about scoring, tracking accuracy, so let's just continue on here. A few minutes later, you had Victor Mancini and Linus Karlsson really going to work on the same shift. Mancini had a really beautiful play where he tried to set up Karlsson out in front on the back door, and Karlsson unfortunately was not able to capitalize. Never mind that, the puck stayed in. Karlsson then gets it again, tosses it out in front for Mancini, who's by himself, and he makes no mistake. Victor Mancini getting himself yet another goal in the Vancouver Canucks preseason. It was a really good Calder Cup winning connection here, as Baines throws it down the boards, Karlsson is in the corner, and he tosses it back out. Mancini gets the Canucks up 2-0. This guy really wants to make the team, man. He's been looking at all the doubters, all the social media lineups projecting Mancini to be an AHL guy, and he is saying, nope, not yet at least. Sure, Tom Hoglander has all the hype as a prospect. Sure, Elias Pettersson pretty much already graduated. Sure, P.O. Joseph is still in the mix, and sure, Derek Forbort maybe gets a veteran spot, but you're not gonna shove me away that easily, baby. Victor Mancini looked so good in this game. He wasn't perfect. There were some plays, like on the power play in the third period, for example, where a missed pass led to some extended shorthanded zone time for Calgary. But for the most part, when Mancini is on and he's activating in the offensive zone, he's playing anti-pocket hockey, that's where things get really, really good. And that continued into the rest of the game here. Now, the 3-0 goal scored by Vancouver was a beauty. This one was scored up by Filip Chytil on the man advantage. Assists go out to Tom Willander and Kirill Kudryavtsev as they just do the basic power play along the top of the umbrella. They find Chytil on the left side, who glides right in, drags the puck, shoots, and goes far side up on Ivan Prosvetsov. It's a beautiful play. He really takes his patience there. Chytil honestly had such an amazing game in this one. This is what Patrick Allvin was talking about. This is what the Vancouver Canucks coaching staff was talking about. They're confident that this guy can be a second-line center, and if he plays like he did tonight, all he's got to do is just do that, and then he's there. He scored a great goal, had a nice assist on the 1-0 goal, and had even more chances himself. He forced a breakaway due to his speed. He was pouncing on pucks in the neutral zone, leading the rush by himself. Maybe to the detriment of Vancouver, because there were a few rushes where it was just Chytil all by himself with no options to pass it to because everybody was behind him. But ultimately, the skills of Filip Chytil, especially the non-dump and chase skills, when you want this guy to hold onto the puck and just waltz right into the zone, he can do that. It wasn't a talk-it-like dump-and-chase game today, and sure, you can say the caliber of competition in Calgary was not that great tonight. I think a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans can acknowledge that the roster on the opposite side wasn't the best, but there still were a lot of optimistic things from the Vancouver side that put themselves on display. The only goal to beat Thatcher Demko in this one was the 3-1 goal scored by Connor Zary on the power play. It was not really Demko's fault. The shot came in, and the rebound was right there in front for Zary. Not really anything the goaltender could have done there. You would hope that Zary gets boxed out a little bit better. But ultimately, Demko, who stuck in for 40 minutes in this one, he was pretty good. He made some strong saves. He was looking confident. He was moving well. As long as he's able to stay healthy and be available for the majority of the season, I think the Vancouver Canucks have a pretty good goaltender on their hands. And Nikita Tolopilo, he played 20 minutes, but unfortunately, on NHL.com, it says that he made 0 saves on 0 shots against. Yeah, no, that is absolutely not true. Tolopilo had saves, everybody. He had saves to make in the third period. I don't know why it says that he didn't make any, but there were some really nice plays out in front, long reaches that he had to do with his toes in order to stop the puck going by him. Tolopilo had a strong game. He's been pretty good all training camp and preseason long. Demko, of course, is looking ready to get back into game shape. Tyler Myers and Marcus Pettersson, just 2 veteran guys playing a very simple game and just allowing things to come their way and just shut it down. Let the young guys run the offensive show today. Let Willander, Kudryavtsev, and Mancini get top power play time. You don't need to give it to Marcus Pettersson or Tyler Myers. You need to see what you got in your prospects. Joseph Labate ended up fighting Joel Farabee, I believe it was, so very nice to see Labate dropping the gloves again for a second time in this preseason. And Vancouver, walking away with the dub here, definitely feels like a pretty good victory for those who want to see the best out of these young Canucks and what they can do at the next level. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this hockey game over here. If you enjoy this video, like it up. If you didn't enjoy, then please click the dislike button. Comments help out with the algorithm as well, so I very much appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.